up and good morning, guys? Welcome back to another video. So recently a lot of you guys have been asking for more work content, and well, it's really hard to actually be productive in construction and hold a camera at the same time. But that being said, I'm still trying for you guys. I'm trying to give you guys the work content that you want. So today is going to be one of those days. Now, unfortunately, I left my actual work boots at the warehouse, and these are like my dress pair of Wolverines. And for everybody that asks what boots I have, they are Wolverines. They are not steel toe. I do not like wearing steel toe. So we're going to hopefully try to not get these too dirty today. And I swear, guys, I don't know what it is, but I always end up forgetting the actual dirty pair of boots that I have on days that we're pouring concrete. So today we're pouring concrete. And behind door number 1, we've got a gunner. Hi, gunner. And behind door number 2, we have a mini horse. Well, hello. You out, gunner? Yep. All right. It's all right. You can make it through the impenetrable vertical blinds here. Another thing I'm really nervous about today is this camera has not been on a job site yet, and I'm really nervous about getting this thing dirty on concrete day. That is, yeah, hopefully the camera survives today. Are you excited? Yeah? So one of the greatest things about being in construction is you get to work in different places all the time, and I mean, look where today is bringing us. Nice and beautifully onto the water. We're actually gonna be up in this community over here where all the houses are actually on the water. You guys can see just how massive some of the homes are in here, and they are pretty incredibly expensive to be right on the water, have your yacht behind your house.
¿Está bien, papi?
Bien.
Bueno.
¿Cómo está tu troque?
¿Tú quieres?
Sí.
So if you guys don't know, Chava has bought all of my previous Ford work trucks, and he really wants the OBS. ¿Dónde estás the rojo?
En mi casa.
¿Está bueno? Yeah? So he bought my 93 F-150, the red one that I had. Papi loves old Ford trucks, right? ¿Te gusta de Ford?
Sí.
¿The viejos?
Sí, están muy fuertes.
There you go. What's up, Richie? You ready, buddy?
Let's do this.
Is the remote working today?
It's working.
Are you sure?
It was a signal over there.
Was it?
Yeah.
So today what we've got going on is
We've previously built this block wall here, and we're going to end up grouting it today. For those of you who don't know what grouting is, it's not like grouting your tile. Grouting a block wall means filling all these cells right here with concrete. And essentially what a block wall is it's just like forms for a poured in place concrete wall.
which are the walls that you see on the side of the freeways where they actually set forms, pour the concrete, pull the forms off. Concrete block are essentially the same thing. With no concrete in them, they're not very strong. But once you fill them with concrete, at that point you've now got a solid wall.
And you can see the back of the houses here with all their private docks. ¿Quiere un casa aquí?
No muchos dólares.
Oh, sí.
Cut it, Richie. Hey, you getting up there, Rich?
Yeah.
You ready, buddy?
So now we got the lower portion grouted. Richie's walking the wall up there. Looking good, Richie, looking good. So one thing you'll notice about all the walls that we do is we completely grout all of our walls solid.
And one way that a lot of contractors kind of skimp out on projects that they're doing is they will only grout certain cells of your block wall, especially when it's like this, where it's a freestanding block wall in between houses to where they think it doesn't need the structural integrity. So basically what they'll do is, I don't know if you guys can see it up there because I'm back here. It's too tall for me to see up there, but you'll see the cells that have rebar in it, like this one right here. And basically what they'll do is they will only grout the cells that have rebar, and basically that rebar is tied into the footing down beneath the wall. They'll only pour concrete into those cells, and they'll actually take all the sacks of mortar and they'll use those bags to block off the cells that way, because obviously if we're pouring concrete in it, it flows between blocks. So they'll block them all off with these sacks of mortar. So basically by doing that, they're saving on an absolute ton of concrete, but you're losing all the structural integrity of your wall. So we will never do that. You will never see us do that on any projects that we do. We grout every single wall that we ever build completely solid, unless there's some weird engineering reason that we shouldn't do that. But we always make sure that we grout all of our walls solid. And you'll see, if you ever see a video of a car that has plowed into a block wall and the wall just falls apart and they're just empty hollow blocks, it's because somebody didn't grout all the walls. So if you guys are ever getting a block wall built at your house, make sure you specify to the contractor that you want to make sure this thing is just grouted completely solid.
And yes, I did splatter a little concrete over here, but don't worry. We always make sure we clean up behind ourselves.
So those of you guys that ask why I don't film at work very often,
Richie, it's not easy to film and hold a hose, is it?
No, especially when you're on the wall. Your legs and your eyes, they go everywhere, man.
so the important thing about being the guy on the ground holding the hose is you gotta make sure Richie's needs are taken care of up there. Don't pull Richie off the wall. You gotta kind of anticipate his moves while he's making them. So you wanna move the hose back a little bit right as he's about to take his step back and keep him moved down the wall fluidly. That way there's no chatter, there's no start and stop, and you're kind of also taking the surge out of the pump, because if you guys will see, the hose kind of likes to jump a little bit. So we try and take that out so Richie up on the wall up there doesn't feel that and get pushed all over the wall. All right, now that the wall's all grouted, Richie's over here cleaning out his pump. And if you guys have ever seen how a pump gets cleaned out, I know for some reason on the East Coast, they don't do a whole lot of concrete pumping as opposed to on the West Coast. I mean, line pumps like this are kind of a dime a dozen here. I would say 99% of the jobs we do, we actually line pump it like this. It's just easier, it's cleaner. So right now what's happening is you'll see Richie's hose is running up into the concrete truck, and he's got that hook over top into the little fill hopper of the concrete truck. So what he's gonna do now is he's gonna pump the leftover concrete from his hopper. He's gonna go through the hose, up back into the truck. He's gonna fill his hopper with water, and he's gonna run water through the entire setup a couple of times to make sure that all of his hoses and everything are cleaned out. And then the concrete truck takes all of the slurry and the water and all that back to the yard, and then they recycle it.
So the reason we're actually building this wall is, believe it or not, the guy that owns this house actually owns this house as well. And then in the middle ground over here, you'll kind of see
With these houses, this is about the extent of your backyard. I'd say it's maybe 15 feet from door to railing, and then you have your dock, and it's pretty consistent all the way around here. So this homeowner, being that they wanted to get a bigger yard, they actually owned that house, and bought this lot in between the two houses, where this is where a house was supposed to be built, and actually turned that into their pool area. So this is a very, very expensive pool.
So you guys can imagine what these lots would cost in Southern California, especially being right on the water. They bought one just to put a pool on it, just so they had a little bit bigger of a yard. Now the reason we're putting the wall in place is they're actually going to be selling this house. So being that they don't know who's going to live there, they don't want, you know, to share this whole communal property that they used to have with two houses and a pool.
And then just for those that are curious, this side of the wall is going to be getting stuccoed to match everything that is in this yard. And then the other side of the wall that Poppy is cleaning over here is actually going to get painted white to match that wall over there.
So if any of you guys are in the market for a new house with a boat dock, you know, I don't know how many millions this is going for, but it's not that big of a house. One thing you also want to make sure you look for,
You know, you want to make sure the concrete is making it all the way to the bottom of the wall, because if you have the concrete getting stuck and hung up in the wall at about this height, and mind you, there's a lot of rebar in there, so there's a lot of stuff for the concrete to get hung up on. But if you got just this portion filled and this portion empty, like now you've got a really top heavy wall, and that's dangerous. So a good sign is if you look down here, you'll see all these spots where the water is kind of leaking through the joints here. If you're seeing that, you know that the concrete has made it down to that level. So you can see it all the way at the bottom of the wall here.
and this community that we're in is very strict. They have a lot of rules for a lot of random things that typically most communities wouldn't. I mean, Southern California already is overregulated, and if you want to build in this specific community itself, you have to follow an insane amount of rules, and one of which is on a freestanding wall. They wanted a special inspector on site the whole time we're grouting this. So little things like that you got to make sure you're aware of, because they do have people that drive around communities like this and are ready to bust you for any little thing that they can. So make sure you know all the rules of wherever you're working. Trust me, we all don't like them. It doesn't make sense most of the time. But so I decided to take a little walk down the street here and check out some of these houses, because this one's actually for sale. We actually used to know the owner of that one. I think it was costing him $10,000 a week to own and maintain that house. It's one of the biggest houses in this area. It's built on, I think, 2, possibly 3 lots. Now this house behind us right here is pretty equivalent in size, and I've actually got the real estate listing here. 8,200 square feet, 5-bedroom, 10 PTT. I have no clue what that is. 6.5 baths. It's got a dock for a 160-foot yacht, 3-car garage, and it can be yours for the reduced price of $6,999,999. Well, we're you know, all set up here. The wall's all grouted. We're coming in and we're putting the top detail on the wall. So Chava's running behind me here, troweling it out. We're basically just trying to match the round over cap that is on the existing wall over here. A little hard to see right here because there's glass on it, but if you look at the wall up there, you can kind of see the round over. So we're just matching that on this whole portion of the wall. Bueno, Chava.
Bien.
Now, normally I don't address stupid comments because, well, they're just that. They're stupid comments, but I've been seeing one pop up recently that like blows my mind that people can't clearly grasp the concept of. And that is people are like, hey man, why are you standing around watching those guys work? Like, let them do their thing and work, huh? Like, you do realize how this like filming YouTube thing works, right? Like, I would love to jump in and do a lot more work than I can do while I'm holding the camera, but then you get crappy angles. It takes 10 times the amount of time, and it's just not productive. So for a lot of things, I stand back and film. And then when certain things, like when they're wiring up Chris's audio system, like, I'm not gonna jump in there and help. I got no clue what's going on. I'm gonna electrocute myself and die off of these crazy high-powered lithium batteries. So I'd rather stay out of the way, but if I'm not standing there filming, we don't get a video of the process. Like, it blows my mind that people still comment on that without realizing, like, yeah, if I'm not standing there holding the camera, you guys get no video. I think it's totally different than if somebody is like working at your house and you're standing over their shoulder, like micromanaging the entire time. Like, nah, we're all there to film videos, to entertain you guys. So like, that's how this process works. And well guys, that's a wrap on that one. The guys are just over there finishing the last little bit of cleaning. We're gonna go hop in the OBS over here. Look at that, I'm getting it right now. Now I'm like thinking in my head because I've been mixing up OBS and BBB way too often. So being that SEMA is getting closer and closer, I need to run and go get a quote on something that we're gonna be doing to the Tahoe. So I gotta take off right now. I apologize for this video being short, but it was kind of a short day over there, getting the wall grouted and then putting the top cap on. We'll be back in the next couple of days, painting the wall and finishing the stucco. My camera battery is about to die, so let me just wrap this up. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. If you have not subscribed already, please click the subscribe button now, though you do not miss out on any future content. Don't forget to give this video a like and a thumbs up. Don't forget to check out workforitapparel.com, because if there's anything you want in this life, you gotta be willing to work for it. You guys are the best. I'm out.
Damn.